Hey everyone, in this video we are going to see how to use AWS Glue Studio, and we are going to use a database and understand how we can do transformations and do other data processing with AWS Glue Studio. So once you log in into your account, this is the AWS Glue service that you see. So what we are going to go to the visual ETL, which is extract, transform and load jobs. So when you click on this, it's going to open this particular page. In this, we are going to click on Visual ETL, and that's going to open up the UI. So in this, on the left hand side, you can see we can add different nodes for source, transform, targets. Okay. So what we're going to do is, so I have an S3 bucket created already, which is this one, and it has a CSV file inside this, and we're going to do a simple transformation on this and see how we can understand how we can use AWS Glue Studio. Okay. So this is the bucket that we're going to use. Coming back to our Glue Studio, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to add one of the source from where we are going to take the data. In this case, we already have a S3 bucket created, so we are going to choose this. Once you choose this, it's going to come on the screen over here. When you click back on it again, it's going to show you the options on the red of what you want to do with this data source. Okay, so it is going to ask for S3 URL, so you can simply browse and go to your glue data bucket, which is this one. Choose your CSV file, and you have to choose the format. So this particular file is a CSV type format, and on the left hand side you can see that is it will load the preview where we can see the data. Let's wait for that. So the data is loaded now, and you can see in the preview that this is the data that we have taken from the S3. If you scroll towards the right, you can see there are 24 fields, and this is the last field that we have. So this is the data source. Now we assume that we have to do any transformations with this data. So to do that, you can simply click on this add node button, and you can see we have different transformations already present here. So we'll go with a simple one for now so that you understand the entire flow of the AWS Glue Studio and it's working. So let's go with the change schema. So when you click on this, another node is added, and on the right side it will give you different options. So assume for this particular data set we want to remove or drop the last two columns. So you simply click on the checkbox over here which says drop, and you have other things the way it is, and you can also change the data type of each of the columns that you have. Okay, so this is one simple transformation that we want to do. Once we are done with this, now we have taken the data source, we have transformed the data source. Now we need to put the output, which is the processed output, on some other target, right? So if you click on this, you can also see the preview of the transformed data. So if you go back, now you have instrumentalness as the last column, so that is 22 feeds because we have dropped 2 feeds. So this is the final output that we are going to get. So we have this. Now what we are going to do is we are going to add another node which says targets, and for targets we can click on, let's assume we want to put the transform data back onto AWS S3, right? So you can click on this. So that is a data target. You can come here and see what type of format you want. So this is Parquet, and you can also change the compression type to uncompressed, and you have to put the S3 target location. So what I've done is I've already also created another target bucket which doesn't have anything. So we are going to come here and browse that particular target. So that's the target file that we have. We choose this, choose, and we have it over here. Now it's green, right? And it says do not update to data catalog. That's fine. So we have this. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go to the script tag and see. So this is the PySpark glue and PySpark script that is automatically created based on the options that you had selected just right now. Go to job details. You can give whatever you want. So in this case, we have removed the names. We have removed 2 columns, right? We can name this something called as removed calls. The second thing is we need to set an IAM role, right? So I have already created one, so that is named as Glue service. So that's what I'm going to select. To create an IAM role, what we are going to do is we are going to go to that service, go to roles, and you have multiple roles over here if you have already created before. If not, you go and click on create role, keep this AWS service and choose Glue, and then you can just click on next and add three different things that I've added. One is the Glue console, full console access, the Glue service role, and I've also done S3, this one. So these three are selected for my uh, Glue underscore service role that I've already created. So I won't create it again, but that's what that's what you're going to do. Click on next, and you can just name whatever you want for that particular role. Okay, I'll cancel this for now. Right. So I'll just show you the one that I have. So these three things have been added as a policy so that this particular role has access. Okay, if you want more, you can just go and attach more policies to this. Okay, so that's already done. So I come back to my Glue Studio service and I choose that particular IAM role. You can keep the other settings the way they are, and the next thing you have to do is just save it. So you have this particular job as saved. This next thing that you're going to do is just click on run. So it says go and navigate to the run details. If you click over here, so it says it's running. So this takes around a minute to run, and it will the status will would be changed to succeeded. So let's wait for a minute. Now the status has changed to succeeded and our job was successful. Now, since in the script we have put the data target, we'll go to that particular bucket and see whether something was created or not. So this is the target bucket. I'll just refresh and you can see that this Parquet file was created with the transformed or the processed data. So if you want to check that, you can click over here on the checkbox, go to actions, query with S3, select, click on CSV and run the simple SQL query. Let's say successfully returned, and you can click on formatted, and if you see at the last we have these entries. We'll just re-verify this. So we go back to our Blue Studio, click on our target on a change schema, and if we scroll towards our preview, you can see we have the same uh, values, which is the data preview which we had seen after dropping the two columns. Right? So we can confirm that the data has been transformed and moved to S3. So this is one way of looking at the data. But if you see here, there's a small note which says Amazon S3 Select supports only Select SQL command. And if you really want to look at the SQL queries, it says go to Amazon Athena. Okay, we'll look at that as well. Go back to our data, go on the burger icon here, and we have something called as databases and tables. So let's click on databases. So we have one database already created, which I had created already. You can just add a database simply from here. So this is one database that was already created. I'll move to tables, and you can see there aren't any tables here. Now what we want to do is we have the transformed and the processed data in a S3 bucket. What we are going to do now is we are going to create a crawler. Okay, so on the left hand side you can see there's a crawler button here. Go here, create a new crawler, enter a name, click on next, select one or more data sources to be crawled, right? So we can add a data source, right? So we come here, now this is one of the data sources we can add. So we already have the transformed Parquet file in one of the S3 buckets. And just browse, come here, find that, which is the target. Right. So this is the target that we need to crawl, and all the files inside this. So it says scroll all subfolders, and we have only one Parquet file inside this. So it is going to go in that. So add an S3 source, which we have already added. Click on next. Oh, and IAM rule, so we have already set one, right? I'll select the same one, click on next, choose a database. So that is also already created. I have this, I have everything set up. I just click on next, and this is the crawler review and create. So I just click on create. And now our crawler is created, but we are not running anything, right? So we'll just simply go and click on run crawler. So it's running right now. Let's wait for this to finish running. So the crawler run has been completed, and now what we have to check is if you go back to our tables and refresh this, we have the table created now, which was taken from the S3 bucket where we had stored the Parquet file, right? So if you click on this, you have everything here, and we have only 22 fields, right? So this is the transformed data that we had done in AWS Glue Studio, right? Now, if you remember, we can use Athena to query our data, whichever we have over here right now, right? So what we can do is we can go to Athena. So when we come here, it has already taken the test database that we had here, and it has also already taken the table that we just created using the crawler. If I go on the three dots over here and say preview table, I can run the code with SQL and do whatever that I have to do with this particular data. And if you see, this is the transform data, and you have removed two columns successfully. So this is how Athena works. So Athena, I believe Athena is a paid service, so it will incur charges based on how many times you run the service. Okay, how many times you run the queries. So this is where you can use your output, that whatever you have done in your Glue Studio. Okay, so moving back here, go to our visual. So we have this particular job. So this was just one job which is doing the removing the columns. If you go back inside, you can do other things also. So you just click here. So you can have your data catalog as your start. So if you click on that, that's your source, and you can choose your database. You have already created the output table using crawler here, and now this is your data source. It will show you the preview here, and what you can do is you can have another node, and it's doing some other data like filling the missing values, aggregate, custom transform, which is very powerful. You can do other predefined functions which are already given over here, right? And you have some of the things that you have already used over here. Okay, and now you can use your glue data catalog as well. And since we have used crawler to crawl through the S3 bucket, right? So you can do that with multiple data sets that you have. You can join different data sets and work with AWS Glue Studio without writing any code, right? If you wish to write any code, you can just move to the script tag here. It is creating it. You can download the script or edit the script if there are some manual changes that you wish to do, right? So this is an easier way of doing ETL, and this particular data can be queried using Athena, which you have already seen once, right? You can write in different queries and look at your transform data and view your data, right? So this is what I wanted to show you in this particular video, an introductory and a getting started video with AWS Glue, and how you can process and manipulate and use Glue with your data sets. Okay, I hope you like the video. If you like our content, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.